Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today with another of the 31 days of tarot challenge videos, day 7. And today's prompt is the tarot card that stalked you in 2019. And this was a really difficult question for me. Last year, when I thought about it, it was very easy. Immediately, it came to my mind the Wand suit, definitely. And I had an entire suit um, stalking me through all the year of 2018. And there was a real reason for that, and I knew immediately why. This year though, I thought, okay, did I even had a stalker card in the tarot or a stalker card in general for this year that came up? And I'm still not sure if that is the case, if this card that I picked now um really stalked me and came up so many times. But this was the card that came up in my mind, and it was very often that this card came up. Um, but I'm not sure if it is really that often so that you could call it Stalker. But the first card that came to my mind instead wasn't a tarot card, but it was a Lenormand card. Every time, at least in at the end of 2019, um, I laid out Lenormand cards, and I read with Lenormand cards. Either it was for me, or if I did pick a cards or oracle readings on my other channel, very often, very often, there was this Lenormand card here coming up. And this was the first card that came to my mind when I thought about a card that stalked me in 2019. I'm not sure if this card was there all the time and at the beginning of 2019, but it definitely was in the last half of 2019. So I will get into the tarot card, but I'm not sure if this would be really as often as I think about when I think about a stalker card, but this definitely. And I think it is interesting that this time a Lenormand card stalked me quite often. And it was the store card that came up nearly every time I did a reading for another one or for myself. And there was a time when I did pick a card readings, and when I turned the cards around and I saw the storks, I was like, oh my god, not again this card. I feel like I'm talking every reading I do, I'm talking the same stuff. And it was nearly annoying because I'm like, okay, why I'm even doing this now? They could go watch the oracle reading or the reading that I did last week or the week before or that week before that, and they could get a nearly the same message. Not really the same message, but with the same outcome, because the store card was always or most often in the outcome position, or I interpreted that at as the outcome or as the change that comes up. Um, and it was really annoying and hard because I try to, when I do my readings on there, I do the readings and then I decide what I do on the with the thumbnail. So which picture I pick for the thumbnail that goes with the topic of the reading and which keywords I pick. And when you have always the same outcome or always the same topic with positive change or and change in general, um, well, there's only so much you can do in variety of the thumbnails. end of the words, and then you're like, okay, what do I do now? So this was a very interesting experience. And I'm not complaining because this isn't a bad card. This is actually a good card when it comes up in Lenormand. And it's like, okay, I have a stalker card that has a positive thing about it. Um, so why not? But it was actually to the point repeating that it was annoying in some way or the other. So this was the Stalker card in 2019 for me that came up first in my head. Then I thought, okay, they asked about the tarot card. And while I thought about that, sometimes at some point, this card came true. And this was the Two of Pentacles. And I get why this came up often, not as often as the Stork's cards in Lenormand. Um, but maybe that could be because Lenormand, I use Lenormand more often than tarot. Um, but this fits perfectly. 2019 was a very, yeah, juggling out and unstable year because I had, at the beginning of 2019, I started a new job. I did, I don't know if there's anything like that in the United States or how it gets called in English. Um, but I did a social year with the Deutsches Rotes Kreuz, and I worked on a school therefore. And I met a lot of new people and a new environment and a new job and new tasks and everything. And even I'm not a person that loves children. I feel bad when I say this, but yeah, it is what it is at the moment. I'm open to them. I do not hate them, and not every child, but I'm not a huge fan of children. And then I worked, or I decided to work in a school, in a primary school. So this was very interesting and a very juxtaposition. And I juggled those out. And then and this was the first change, so it was not very stable. Then I had to go did work in that school, but I had 5 weeks where we did seminars with a whole other new people and new teachers and stuff and new topics and new places. So then there was this juggling between my school where I worked and those seminars from my actual boss in those new towns and places and with those new people. Then there was the juggling between, at the end of this social work I did on the school and the start of my university phase that I'm now in. I study now, and there's those juggling between those things, and there are a lot of different. This is more social work with people in the school, and now I study law and economics. So it is very from practical to theory, from social to very dry theoretical stuff which isn't as social. Um, so then there was this. And then there is another thing where I try to balance and juggle all these projects with my actual work and then the YouTube channel that I do where I do the readings in German and I want actually to um work here in Germany as a side business in this spiritual world. So I have this to juggle, and then now my English speaking um, YouTube channel. So I try to balance my energy and when I do what and all this, and I try to juggle those projects. And then there was also an inner conflict that was in 2019, and an inner thing where I discovered actually a whole new side of myself, and I learned so much in the last, let me think, in the last 5 months of 2019 about myself that I didn't knew. Um, that this was also a side of myself and a character trait of myself. So I try to dive in that more and get to know myself more, even if I thought actually I would know myself pretty well now, but I do not, at least not this side of myself. When you talked to me a year ago and said, hey, you will be doing this and you are like this, and there's a side in you and you have those character traits, I would tell you, you're crazy. That's not possible. So I try to discover more of that and get to know myself more and integrate this side in myself. Those last 5 months of 2019 and still in those process. So the Two of Pentacles really makes sense in my life journey right now and especially in 2019. So those are my two Stalker cards. And I think they fit perfectly together. If you try to juggle all those projects and you have this inner conflict and you try to integrate all those things and master all those things and you find your inner balance again, when you do that, then there can be a positive change happening. So that's an interesting combination there. So this was my video for day 7 of the 31 days of tarot challenge. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave the comment. Feel free to comment down below. What was your stalker card? What was your experiences? Had you nearly the same experience as me or quite different experiences? I would like to know that. Let me know down in the comments. Also, please like and subscribe to my channel. There will be much more coming. And then I hope I will see you in the next video. Until then, bye.